Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. It's World War One Wednesday with Nige over here at Nige's Modelling Bench. And this is week 38 now. Apologies up front, I have a absolutely disgusting, stinking cold and it's got me hit for six. There is something going around that's getting everybody. I'm seeing the people on the TV are off sick, and there's people I know over the pub who have had coughs for 10 weeks and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I've got it again. I had it back in February, if you remember, and I've got it again. And this time it's got me worse. Sore throat, bunged up nose and all that. So I've got to keep stopping to cough. The other problem, of course, I've got is because I keep coughing, my eyes are watering a lot, and seeing detailed things is rather difficult. And now we're at the point of getting some rigging done. I think I might struggle a bit. We'll see how we get on. So, all the wood graining is now done and clear coated. Found a little thing that works. What you do is put the oils on and then put it in the airing cupboard for 2 or 3. It's my first cough break. Put it in the airing cupboard for 2 or 3 days. Comes out, it's absolutely dried in, soaked in, solid, and then you can give it a good clear coat. And as you can see, it's all sealed in now. I've sealed this in with LP9, which is Tamiya LP gloss varnish. Nice, solvent lacquer that's going to go in and really bite in, so that's good. I've also gone round, as you can see, and done all these black bits, all the brackets and the hinges for the ailerons. Also done the horns for the ailerons. They're painted in black as well, as you can see there. So just kind of it just makes it all look a lot sort of more, I don't know, more accurate. I don't even know if it is accurate, but I just think it breaks it up and takes away that just total wood grain look. I'm also quite pleased that we've got the variation with the spars and the ribs. So yeah, that's the worst of it done. I was thinking I'm done, and then I'd got the instructions out just now, and I noticed it's got the bloody struts to do at the spars, haven't they? It just goes on and on. Trouble is that I'm not moaning about. Well, I am moaning about it, but the reason I'm moaning about it is because you get it all primed and painted, and then you put yours down and you have to wait, and then you get the clear coat down and you have to wait, and it's just, you just want to get on with the bloody thing, you know. But yeah, we're doing these wings for what, 2 months now? God dear, I don't know. So we also got the floor done on our little armoured car, and as you can see, that's also had a clear coat, and that's come out really nice. You can see the scratched in wood grain under there. I wouldn't advise doing this on like a big exposed area if it's the back of a wooden truck or something, but this area here, this floor where it's going to be painted and then stone chipped, hairsprayed and rubbed back to expose wood, then I think that's absolutely fine for that. If you didn't see it already, go back and have a look. I did a review this week on the Copper State Models British Motorcycle TR, yeah, that's Triumph, Model H. Beautiful little thing, built from, I think it was 1912 to 1925, I think they were built from. But lots of Google images for reference and stuff. So yeah, really great little motorbike. It's a little 3D printed kit, 6 parts, absolutely gorgeous. Detail is stunning. Hannets are out of stock at the moment, but you can actually pre-order them at the moment and get 10% off. So bear that in mind. The kit number is B35001. There's also a German one as well to go along with it. It's 35th scale, not 32nd. Obviously they've done it to sit in line with their vehicles range, but their aircraft, Copper State models, they're all 32nd. So what have we got to do next? We're going to get that little truck out of the way because we don't want to go break. This is the problem with mini art. You can see now we've got this lever sticking up here. We've got this column, pedals, column. It's all so flimsy and it's just asking to be broken. So got to be careful with that. So we're going to move these wings aside. Oh, the next thing I've got to do, sorry I forgot, is where you've got all these little loops where the cable goes through, I'm just going to get a 0.6 drill. I found 0.6 is the best size. I've already done this before I painted them, and now I need to do it again, because as you can see here, so that one there, the black paint has blocked it up. So I'm going to come in here with my little drill. I can hardly even see it. I'm really annoyed this morning, guys, because I've ordered some paint for a project from Scale Model Shop, and it's been sent and they didn't collect yesterday. So that's really annoying. And as you know, I've been dying to get my hands on the Gerald R. Ford from Trumpeter. Finally discovered that Jadlam have got them. Ordered one from Jadlam, and it's still there because Parcel Force haven't collected. Isn't it annoying? It's so annoying. I've got a Imperial Japanese Navy Takao coming all the way from China, and I can track that every day, and I can see that they got it out of China, you know, on through China, onto a plane, through customs, onto a plane and everything, and it's just sat in the UK somewhere. It's just sat there and no one's even picked it up. But today I've had an email from Every to say they've at least they've got it now, so it could be another 5 or 10 days. If you want to see a review of that Imperial Japanese Takao, if you go over to Sen Navy Model Store, is it Model Factory I think it's called? Absolutely brilliant. I don't know his name, I must get his name. But he's done a review of it, so you can go and have a look at that if you can't wait for mine. But, he's Taiwanese. Yeah, he's Taiwanese. But if you hit subtitles, you won't get anything. What you need to do is go to settings, and then in settings go to subtitles, and then you can select English in there, and that will show in settings rather, because if you hit subtitles it'll just come up with Taiwanese subtitles. But I've discovered that you can actually go into settings and do it that way. So we're going to get these drilled out. I can barely see the holes with bloody streaming eyes here. So I'll carry on with this, and I'll come back when it's done, and we'll have a look at getting some rigging done. Okay, so they're all drilled out. By the way, you'll have seen a video I've done comparing these drills. These are the microbox drills. What you need to look for, if you get you go over to Brooks Models and get these. If you get the ones in the grey box, you're guaranteed to get good ones. But there are a few different drills about, and this is a cheap set. And if you saw me, I did a talk about these and the sizes and everything. They're absolutely fine for doing stuff like this, but the problem with them is they're not as sharp as these are, so they don't drill as easily. But if you're using the power tool, that's not a problem. But the other problem is they don't tend to, they say they're 0.3 to 1.6, but they're not. You sort of got a bunch of 0.4s and then a bunch of 0.5s and then a bunch of 0.6s, and then they sort of tend to break up as they get higher up. Whereas with these, they're sharp, they cut really well, and you can guarantee that when you take out a 0.6, it is 0.6. But these are the grey ones. You can also get them like this in the light blue. But if you see drills that are about £2 or £3 and they're in this light blue box, don't bother. They are the same as these. Okay, you can see the boxes are all exactly the same. They're just different colours. But basically, these in light blue or these in grey and the microbox in capital letters, they'll all be good. I don't think I have any cheap microbox. No, I don't. I thought I had some here. But there are some that come in microbox with capital M and the rest in small case or lowercase. They're also the cheap ones, so be very careful what you're buying. But if they're about £10, they're probably quite good. I know that's a silly thing to say, because you could have suppliers just put these for £10 and you'll think they're great, but just be careful what you're buying. But if you go to Brooks Models, brooksmodels.com, get these ones in the grey box. You're guaranteed to be they're good. And if you use the code NMB10 when you spend £15 to £50, you get 10% off. And NMB20 gets you 20% off when you spend more than £50. Dear, this bloody cough is doing my nutting. Right, so what am I doing putting those away? So there's your quick little refresher on drills. I've done a complete video on it. And I'm not trying to sort of run down Brooks model stock. I'm just letting you all know what you're buying and why one is like £2.85 and one is £10. £2.85 for a set of drills is a bloody bargain any day of the week, isn't it? Right, so now we've got to look at what we're doing next. And we have our instructions. So we're going to go forward in the instructions to, here's our wing. So we've done all this, it's all assembled, it's all wood grained, thank the Lord. So now we've got to do this here, and I can't even read this, I can't even see it, my eyes are so watered up. So yeah, they're telling us there, so what we need to do is get this package out of the end of the box, and in here there will be lots of goodies. There we go, there's our thread. So we've also got some white elastic thread there as well, and some other bits and pieces. We've got some wire and other stuff, vinyl tubing. Excuse me. It's nice when these kits come so complete. So here we are with our, this is our thread. I think I put it in this bag. I don't think it came in this bag. Can't remember now. So hopefully on the end here we have already got the super glue on the end. Yes, we have. And what we do is we grab a cutting mat and we cut the end. Where's my knife? There it is. We cut the end on an angle. So you've basically got the end of this is hardened with super glue. So we cut the end on like a 30-degree angle, and that puts like a point on there, and it'll make it a lot easier to thread through. So let's have a quick look. I don't think I'm going to do any threading on camera because I'm not going to be able to see it without the magnifier. I want that to come out of there. There we go. So we'll get some of this thread off. We'll just pull that through there to stop it all unwinding. And obviously we're going to start at one end. We'll get one of the smaller wings first. So you can see on here they're telling us to do the big wing first. We'll get the little wing first. So this is that one. So we're going to start from here. And I want it to come through from underneath and through to the top. God blimey, I can see about 6 holes. I'm sorry guys, I know you don't bloody want to hear about my health woes all the time, but you might be sat there thinking, come on guys, just get on with it. Just get it through there. I don't think it's going to happen. Yay, there we go, we got it. I almost pulled it straight back out again. So there we are, so that can go through there. There we are, and what we can do now is just work on it, and we've got, I'm looking at this one here, which is this wing. Hang on a minute, I got to sniff, hang on, oh dear, dear, dear. Right, so that one is coming through, it's coming through the first hole in that rib. It's quite handy it's got that 90-degree on the end of it because it'll make it easier to pass through bits like this. This is going to take forever. Okay, so it's coming through there, and then it's going through the third hole on the next rib. It's going to take a while, but at the end of the day, it's absolutely worth it. Now, if you remember, the lovely Charlie Gretsch sent me this kit all the way from Australia, and he's got me another one now he's sending me. So I've told him I may not build it, but I will review it. And it's a P40 Warhawk. I think it's the trumpeter one. I was looking, funnily enough, I was looking the other day at the Great Wall Hobby one, which looks gorgeous, but it's so expensive in comparison to the others. Great Wall Hobby seem to be getting really expensive on everything, don't they? You know, it's just really weird. Some of their kits are really reasonable, and then they come out with a, you know, that 48 scale Tomcat, and it was $200 in America. When the Tamiya one was like $120 or something. So that's going through there, and then it's coming, it's going to loop underneath. I don't know why we've got a loop underneath there. Ah, because it's got to go around a spar. So what I might do there is just glue them off. And here you can see I'm really struggling to see. So I'm going to get this one through here, and then I'm going to turn the camera off. And then I'll come back bit by bit. It looks like I've got a piece of, yeah, there is, there's a piece of, I can't even see it, there's a piece of flash hanging over that hole. Piece of drilling flash. So here we go, grab the end of that. And we'll get that through there. Go, pull that through there, and there we are. Now what they're telling us here, we need to leave a loop on there because it's obviously there's a strut going to go in here, going to go across there. I'm not sure if it needs to be. What we'll do is get the strut off the sprue perhaps and try it. So in fact we can have a look at the strut now. Here it is, it's in the box. in the bags. Get to the point where I want to get rid of this box because it's a big old thing. So yeah, it's dead straight. So that's going to sit in, like, is it forward or backwards? I'm trying to look at a picture. Forwards. So that's going to sit in there like that. Oh, ejector pin marks. Oh, lovely. Because I love ejector pin marks, as you know. So that's going to sit in there like that. It looks like, yeah, this area here goes down. So that's going to have to be loose. So what I have to do is get one of these off the sprues and set it up with that. But we're not worried about that yet until we move along a bit. So I'm going to pull this through here. I'm going to unravel this thread from here. God, that really gets stuck in that groove. Blimey. It's like it's glued in there. Oh dear. Let's open it up a bit. Wow. So we'll put it through. There we go. We won't worry about it. Just what I don't want it to do is fall on the floor, because there's a certain little monster led down beneath my feet that will grab it and chew it. So, and I won't notice until it's too late. Right, so I'm going to get on with this. Unfortunately, because of the way they've done this, rather than having it on a roll, you've got all these little kinked areas, so you've got to make sure you've got them pulled out. I think what I'll do actually is what I might do is take all this off actually and put it on a roll, because these little kinked areas are a pain in the ass. Right, see you in a minute. Okay, so we finally got this one in. It's not taut or anything yet. I'm just looking, if I do actually pull it tight, when I put this spar in, will it actually put too much pressure on it? It actually doesn't. I think it'll be fine. So I think what we'll do is just tie the ends and not tie any of these, glue any of these bits. Just glue the ends, sorry, and not glue any of those bits to see how we go. But it needs to be taut enough so that you pull out these kinks. Otherwise, if you let it go, I don't know if you can see any here, there's a kink there. It needs to be just tight enough to pull the kinks out. Obviously, you don't want it so tight that it ends up twisting the wing. But there we go. So what I'm going to do now is cut this thread off. So I've got some masking tape on here. So what I'll do is just grab a drop of super glue, just put that on that cable there, let that dry for a minute, get rid of that excess, let that dry for a minute. It's still a bit tacky. It tends to dry quite quick on the thread because it goes in, and then of course when you take the air away from it, that's when it dries. So what we can do then is with our knife just come along on an angle and cut it, and that way if you looked under a magnifier, you've got a pointed end on there then. So that's going to be good to go. Now this end here, what I'm going to do is loosely, he says, you watched this go completely wrong because the camera's on. I'm going to loosely tie this off, so that needs to come over like that and under. And then I need to grab it from underneath, if I can. And then that's going to go up through there. Wow, I can't believe how well that went. Okay, so I'm just going to tie that off like that and not do anything with it yet until the other side's on. Then I can pull them both taut, and that'll reduce the risk of putting any twist into the wing, and I can check it. We'll have the put it on the edge of the bench, have the aileron hanging off the edge, just to make sure we haven't put any twist or anything into it. So there we go. So I'm going to get the other one done, and then I'll come back. Okay, so there we are, that one's done. I've got these ends to tie off, and I've got to trim these ends off when the glue's nice and solid. But yeah, looking at this, I think what I'm going to do is leave tensioning these until they're actually fitted as a pair of wings, because if I have to twist this wing to put the spar in, what will happen is one of them will go slack and one of them will go tight. And also, I guess if we change the dihedral, we'll have to twist the wing in some way. So what I'm going to do is leave these ends tied off, but not glued. And then what I think we'll do is when we've got the actual spars on and this is all attached to the fuselage, then we'll pull them, dab a glue, and then we know they're good. The other thing I don't know, of course, is how, where we've got this here, where this spar is going to go underneath. I don't know how much I can get away with there, but we'll see how it goes. But you can also see here, just under this one, I don't know if you can make that out, but there's a kink in it because of this being on this flat piece of cardboard. So I think I'm going to find a little bobbin or something to put this on and wrap it around nice and tightly, and hopefully that'll take that out. So there we go. Now I've taken probably an hour to do this because I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm not going to do any more of this. I'm going to put this to one side, perhaps pick it up again in the week when my eyes are less streamy. I hope you know what I mean. Like when you've got a cold or whatever, and it's just your eyes are running. You see, when we get to this point here, we fit the wings and we fit these struts and fit the upper wing. I think that's when I'll pull them taut. Well, then we're into actually putting the connection the cables in as well. You see, in the meantime, we're going to be doing some work on the fuselage as well. So I'm going to put this to one side, put this sprue away, and I think what we'll do is have a look and see if we can do some major assemblies on the little armoured car, something that I can see. I've been working on the, as you know, I've been working on the M109A7 Paladin, and we're now into final assembly on that, and it's the same. I can't bloody see what I'm doing. So what I'll try and do is find some sort of, if we've got some major body parts to glue together or whatever, then we'll go for that. But anything in plastic is going to be better than trying to find these tiny little holes. But hopefully you agree. I mean, that looks bloody lovely, doesn't it? I mean, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I'm saying as a kit, with that line in there, and that, it looks lovely, doesn't it? It really does. So I can't wait to see this thing done on the bench. It's going to look stunning. Right, see you in a second. Okay, first things first. For the sharper-eyed amongst you, you'll notice I've made a little alteration here. For some unknown reason, I don't know what I was thinking of, I didn't wood grain this area here. What was I thinking? So I've now put some oil on there, so I'm going to leave that a little while to dry and put some clear on it. It's only a small area, and it's only going to be hairsprayed anyway. And this I left in the airing cupboard so it didn't get a gloss coat. I mean, come on, Nige, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's bloody ridiculous. So I'm going to have to wait for that to dry, give it a gloss coat, give this a gloss coat. In the meantime, I'm looking at what else we can do. So going over the page here, we've got these fenders going together. If you remember, I built these up and replaced this silly little plastic connection. Something Mini Art are renowned for is dafty little tiny parts that are lovely into scale, but just won't support a knock or anything. So these are going to go in here. Now they've got tiny little locations. We've got a little pin here, which you can't see because it's black. You've got a location there, a location there. So what I'm going to do, which will make it a bit easier to see, we're going to remove the paint from here. Okay. Now, excuse me sniffing, guys. My nose is streaming today. Hopefully that's a sign that it's on its way out. So, I'm sick and tired of bloody colds this year. Right, so just clean that up like that, and then we've got a hole here in the front of the chassis, and then we've got a connection here, so I'm not worried about scratching the black paint because we're going to give it another coat anyway. But this is where Mini Art really comes into its own because everything is so fragile, you can't touch anything. Where are we going with this? Into there, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll scratch that paint from there, and then hopefully this will clip on and we can put the glue on after. Hopefully. Now you may be wondering why I'm actually removing the paint. It's because I don't want to use a mountain of glue, and if you use a very small amount of glue, generally over painted surfaces it doesn't work. This doesn't want to fit. You get the idea. That's going to go on like that, and then we're going to glue it in position. I think the front's going to have to be pegged. And that pin, I'm just looking here, that pin doesn't want to go in that hole. Let's just have a look, put it like this so it's easier. Well, yeah, it does. I think it needs to be slightly deeper, so what we'll do here, we'll grab a pair of calipers, digital calipers they are called, not verniers because they don't have a vernier scale, 0.6, so we can grab one of these horrible things. 3, 4, 5, I don't, that's a 6, that one is a 6. Just deepen that hole slightly, do the same on this side. I really don't like these drills, guys. Alright, what I've done here is just glued the back end. This is really tricky because there's this is very typical again of mini art. There's tiny little contact areas that hold everything on. Whereas, you know, if it was an RFM or something, there'd probably be a big hole and a peg in there. It may not quite be to scale, but it's up under there, it's hidden. But the thing is, just to say within mini art, they go so much for the accuracy, you often lose the strength. I mean, it doesn't need to be like an RC car, but it's nice to be able to pick it up and not have it fall apart in your hands, sort of thing, which can be quite frustrating with mini art. But, I just want them to go off and stay there. I've used quick setting. I was hoping it was going to dry quicker than it has. I think I just leave that like that for now. Perhaps get some, perhaps get something up in here. Oh, this bloody cough! Oh, I'm sick of it. Right, put a drop in there and a drop in there. God, I can't even get the brush in there. There's so many odds and ends in the way. I think it needs to go up to go into the hole, doesn't it? Yeah. So if I can put a peg on there. No. Right, I'm going to have to go into the magnifier so I can see what I'm doing. It's bloody stupid. I'm doing a mini art kit when I can hardly see what I'm doing. What an idiot. What an absolute bloody idiot. Back in a minute, guys. Okay, so these fenders are nice and dry now, so they're all nice and solid thanks to that bit of brass in there, which helps immensely, I think. It's starting to actually look like a car now, isn't it? So, moving on, I was looking for something chunky to do because of my eyes, obviously. So I looked at these side panels, and straight away you notice you've got these little parts here, CK20 times 10. So that's a bit weird. I haven't done those down there, actually. And basically, CK20 is these things on here. Now, I've done this sort of thing before with Meng, Trumpeter, I think, but this is not good. I mean, they're absolutely tiny, as you can see. They should make them bigger so that when you cut them off, but you basically, let's get rid of these sprue gates here a minute. Let's just get rid of those because they're in the way. But basically, you should be able to come along with a knife and just pare them off, just shave them off like that. Okay, but as you can see, when you shave it off, you lose some, so you end up with this minuscule little grain of plastic, which is useless. So what I've done is where the rivets go, I've drilled them out, and I've basically used these Anise 0.5mm rivets. There's 250 in here. You can see they come like as a 3D printed plate of rivets. So you can see on there they have like a 0.3 diameter stem and a 0.5 diameter rivet head. So you just drill some 0.3 holes, push them in and glue them. Now the only trouble is they're sort of slightly smaller than what's on here. So what I've done, as you can see, I put a drop of black super glue on top of each of them. Once it's all painted and primed and everything, I don't think it'll notice, but I'm not really looking for perfection anyway because it's going to be weathered. But I've just noticed you're supposed to have some down there as well. How on earth are you supposed to fit rivets down there? I'm not going to bother. Maybe I will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side. So there's going to be 5 down there, and there's going to be 5 down there. Yeah, you can see them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll give it a go. Back in a sec. Okay, so rivets are in. You can see there's along there. There's 5 along there, but you can't see them, can you? Because they're absolutely bloody minuscule. Glued in from the back. Well, that'll dry, and then I don't need to sand the back actually, because this floor is going to fit in here like this above them. So there we go. So we don't need to worry about those at all. Just rub off the excess. But we've got the 5 rivets in there. I don't know if you can see them, but they're in there, and they do look. I mean, when you start to add washes and stuff, they really will pop. I don't know how good they're going to look, but we shall see. So I looked at the instructions. I went back to here. My eyes are a little bit better now. It's later in the day. It's sort of tea time now, and I've gone on and done this. This is unbelievable. You've got this little for the horn. So you've got the horn there going in the bulkhead, and then you've got the pipe here, DA48, which leads down, and you've got the horn itself going through the dashboard attached to the steering column. So you can see there's the horn, or the bit, and then you have the pipe, and then that goes into the actual horn itself. Unbelievable detail. It's just absolutely mental. Now we've got bits and pieces going on here which I'm tempted to not fit yet. I'm just looking at this. I'm trying to see where that goes. Can't really see where it... On there, it's sort of sitting alongside the engine. Let's get it off the sprue and have a look. Yeah, I haven't been one of them going for closed or open yet. I think it'll be closed bonnet anyway. We shall see. Let's forget that. Let's move on to this. Excuse me. So we've got these little handles going on the inside. I'll put them on, but I won't put any handles or anything on the outside. We've got tiny little like wing nuts here and little bits of photo etch to go into. There's this one here. You can see this tiny little down in here. There's a tiny little bit in there. We're going to put a knob and a bit of photo etch. Nah, life's too short at the moment, I'm sorry. We've got these little handles going on the inside, so we'll fit them, and then we can look at getting all this bolted together, and then I'll do the little details afterwards, I think. So what I'll do is just sort of make a note there, or even what I have been doing is getting a red pen and putting a red mark next to where the bits are that I'm not doing, so that I catch them up. But we want sprue CK. This is always a bit of fun trying to find the sprues. This is DE. That's F. They're both F sprues. E. Oh, CK was that one with those stupid rivets on, wasn't it? Yeah, this is CK. So we've got CK. Where are we? CK7. CK7, and there's loads of them on there. So what we'll do is we'll get 2 of those off of here. There we go. And then we'll get those fitted, and they are going on the inside here into that little hole. I think Dottie's going to start barking now. What is it, Dottie? What is it, Dottie? There's way too much glue on there. Massive puddle. But as always, don't touch it. Just leave it and let it dry, and it'll be fine. Oh, just pushed it over. I honestly, guys, I can't see what I'm doing here. I'm going to have to call this a day. I really can't see what I'm doing. Alright, so I got these parts off and cleaned up and everything all ready to go. So this part here, this is A2, this is going on the top, and that's going to sit like that. So is that going on the top? Yes, it's sitting. You've got a ridge around here, it's going to sit on the top, not in it. So there we are. So that's going to sit inside on that step, this straight plate here. So what we need to do is just tack this together. I'm going to use a drop of the quick setting. I don't want glue oozing out of those seams because we're going to make it look like it is actually heavy plate riveted together rather than bits of plastic glued together with glue. So I'm just going to put a drop of the quick setting in there. Let's get some on the brush if I can. Drop in there. Sorry, every time I turn the camera on I start bloody coughing. Okay, and then the same on the other side, and then hopefully we can get this together as an assembly. There we go, got a lovely fit around there. Look, really nice. It's one thing about mini art kits, they are very, very complex, and some would say very over-engineered, but they always tend to fit together quite well. The newer ones, it's the same with ICM. You've got mini art of old and ICM of old, and I kind of believe that they sort of all of a sudden had this massive turnaround, and their kits today are brilliant. Well, I wouldn't say ICM are brilliant, but they're very good. I really do like the plastic they use. So that's going to sit down in there like that. And as you can see, it's being held apart by something, and I'm not sure what it is. So what I'm going to do is scrape some of this away here and here, just to see if we can get it in a bit tighter on the side. That's better. Right, so we'll do the same on this side. We'll scrape out of there, 2 scrapes, 2 scrapes, and a couple across the bottom there. There we go. Get rid of that on the end. And that should fit in there nice and snug. Oh dear, 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 here we go. Here we bloody go. Right, get another bit of quick setting into there at the back. In fact, we can get it in from the outside, can't we? Just brush some. It's because I can't get on the bloody brush. I need to top it up. And there we are. Right. So that's going to pop in there. That's going to pop in there, and then we'll just bring that together. It doesn't need to be a perfect fit because it's, you know, it's over 100 years old. It's steel plate riveted together. It's not supposed to look pretty. It's just supposed to protect the guys inside. What I'm trying to do is get this together without any glue oozing out anywhere. I just want it to look like riveted plates. You can see you've got a definite seam there, and that's how I want it to stay. So that when we put the washers and the weathering on, it all starts to pop. Now what I might do is slip this up inside here. In fact, what I could do is sit it on top of there, because we've got a recess around the bottom, and that'll sit over there, like so. So that way it can dry in its natural. Isn't that funny? This quick setting doesn't seem to be working. Just use the ordinary. Just put some down there and not squeeze it. In fact, I'll put some around here as well. So I'll sit that down over that. Make sure that side's sitting down the same. So that's down. And then it can dry in the correct orientation. So what we'll do, we'll grab some of our, I'm probably going to break something now. Where's our orange tape? Here it is, brilliant Mr. Hobby orange tape. This stuff is amazing. It's just all going to come off, isn't it? Right, so what we'll do is we'll hold that, pull that, no, we'll hold this and pull that over to it. And then put that on there, hold that, pull it over, and that'll keep it all together now. All together now. There's a song in there, so there's always a song in everything I say. Right, let's get that out of the way, let's get that out of the way. That's going to pop over there like that. That can sit down like that. Hang on a second. Alright, so there we are. We're going to let that dry. What I am going to do is just actually, I'm going to brush another layer of extra thin around here. Now that it's started to cure off. I'm kind of looking, I wonder if we should have had some rivets around here as well, because there's one rivet in the middle. Maybe later in the instructions they tell us to do it. Let's have a look at the paint charts. Oh no, there's a ring going to go right. No, there is just one rivet. That's okay then. Right, so there we are. All looking good. So I'm going to also brush some extra thin into there, into there, into there, and into there. And that way, you can see on the top we've got our nice, clean, plated seams, so they look like they're actually plates, riveted plates, rather than beautifully moulded plastic, which is what we want. Right, I'm going to call it a day there, guys, because I can't bloody see anything. So next I've got a load of PE bits and pieces to do next, so I'll go on and get that sort of stuff done, and then I'll see you. We've got all the front cab to do and everything as well. We've got handles to go in there and bits of photo etch. No, that's not photo etch. And all of this has got to be glued together, and then it's all got to be painted white inside. The floor is going to be green, but all of the walls and everything are going to be white. So I will see you back next week for World War I Wednesday, and maybe in the meantime I'll get that rigging done. If not, I'll come back to you next week and do some rigging. So if you want to get some of these rivets, there you go, anise.de, and if you have a 3D printer, it'll also show you the program to print your own. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.